do number 2 on the vocal script. What'll I do? What'll I do? A little bit higher, Marty. What'll I do? What'll I do? Good. That's what my recording session would look like.
What better way to kick off a Comic-Con weekend than with the one and only Courage the Cowardly Dog, Marty Grabstein.
Oh my God, thank you so much for attending this glorious event where you're all in together. So thank you for bringing me here. Thank you for supplying me, but I don't know what I'm doing. Anyway, it's a strange thing because this is the first panel. A lot of people later would think, when it's a Courage panel, you're gonna say, you missed it, baby. You missed it, baby. I saw it. It's a very rare thing. Call it up on YouTube. You can see it. All right.
All right. You know, this is like Phil Donahue now.
Oh my God. I'm exhausted already.
Exhausted. So Marty, we've got all these Courage fans here, and we're excited to see you. So, I mean, how many of you guys have seen Marty before? Let me ask that.
Courage fans here.
Back there, we have some first time, and I know you guys know him. Baby Courage, you probably know, right? So I guess, you know, one of the main questions that I want to start off with, Marty, is that we have this iconic character, and I know there's a great story behind it. How was Courage born? We know that John Dilworth created Courage, but how is he born from Marty Grabstein? Tell us the story of Courage's origin.
All right, but it's really interesting to me. Hello, my friends. Step in. Oh, anyway, so what happened was, it was an amazing thing. Maybe there's a little bit of a lesson to this. I always heard that when you wanted to be an actor, right, so much of it doesn't follow a direct path to the carrot that's being... Basically, you want to be a success. You want to be an actor. So whether you're successful or not is to be determined, right? And also the idea that sometimes you need to do it, act, and not get paid for it. That's the plight of the artist. By the way, let me be really clear. I'm recovering from a stroke I had about 5 months ago. It did affect my speech. So any haltedness you might see in my presentation is a function of that. That being said, if you saw me 4 months ago, you would be hearing a very different speech pattern. I really have come a long way with this. So I just wanted to address the elephant in the room, making clear about that. Anyway, the idea that acting is something you just do. I was acting in I had a 2-man sketch comedy duo called Lab Rats with a guy named Rick Mowat. He's still one of my best friends even today. We did sketch comedy all over the city. We didn't get paid for it, but we made some noise in the area. Have a seat. You can sit down. No worry about it, Josh. Josh, have a seat. Your name is Josh, right? I want you to know that I remember your name. Anyway, so that being said, so a really good friend of mine probably picked up on the energy that I was acting and gave me a call. I haven't spoken to her for maybe 5 years. She said, Marty, I believe you're still acting, right? And she said, you know, I'm working with this guy, John Dilworth, developing a new cartoon series called Courage the Cowardly Dog. Basically, he was listening to every voiceover artist in the city over 300 voices, she told me. He still can't arrive at a decision what to do, what this character is supposed to sound like. So I figured at this point, I'm going to call you friends of mine. Maybe I'll have better luck. Anyway, I went into the audition. No expectation, no really idea how the character was supposed to sound, actually. Only they gave me a one-page script with a few lines. You know the Courage lines are not voluminous. That was pretty good, actually. Voluminous, right? Not bad. Anyway, so I didn't work on it. This is an interesting story. I know this is a long story, but we have not many people. They want to hear it. You want to hear it? All right. Wonderful. Anyway, so the thing is, what's I talking about?
Getting the voice of courage. Going on the audition. Your friend called you. What can you do for us?
Anyway, the funny thing about this is, number one, actors are always very nervous. I certainly, anytime I had an audition, very nervous. So somehow, I don't know why, something came to me that this guy has to be kind of desperate now, because he's waiting almost 5 months unsuccessfully to cast this character. So I am in a position to relieve his pain. It just came to me like that. I wasn't equipped with the knowledge I have even now, the wisdom to be able to say that, that's a good attitude to have. All right, when you go into an audition, you flip the power switch to you, versus to them having all the power. Somehow, I walked in so confidently, I played around. He was really laughing at my interpretation of it. The raspy voice I had, New York Jewish roots, all of that sounds, and somehow he loved it. I was talking like this, whatever he said. I sounded a little bit like Jackie Mason. That was for you, that reference. Anyway, but he said, "Can you just? I loved what you're doing. Can you pitch it up here? All the things I do for love." And then we got it. I think we got it. He literally said, "We got it." And I believe the only thing stopping you, it's Cartoon Network vetoes it. Well, and the next day I found out that I got the parts. It's a nice story, but two things, right? Number one, the power flip. Number two, the idea that keep doing what you love, acting, even if you're not getting paid, it still counts that you're doing it. You're doing your work, and so your confidence level will be fed by that as well. 2 lessons. Nice.
A wonderful, wonderful story. So you got the part of courage. Cartoon Network loved your voice, and they loved you, I'm sure, because you are a character in your own right? So
I became more of a character than the last 25 years, but we're pretty character we now then. These 2 guys over here, these 2 friends of mine for 50 years, these 2 guys visiting me here. It's crazy then? Oh, yeah. All right, then. I was just crazy then.
You were that crazy. So my question is, so you said 25 years, and Courage ran for what, 4 seasons?
4 seasons.
4 seasons, so it was you, Thea, and then Thea White was Muriel. First Eustace was Lionel.
Yeah, Lionel Wilson.
And then the second one?
Arthur Anderson.
All right, so the 4 of you, brought the show to life, and then also we need to throw in there Paul Scheffler, who did many of the show's villains. Now, did you guys record these all together, or did you record them separately?
Actually, it was a humbling experience because I have seen videos of voiceover recordings going on where everybody sits in a circle and, the stars doing that. Cameron Diaz and Tom Hanks sitting around in the circle, Cameron not wearing any makeup, shorts, everybody kind of casual, So I walked in and nobody was there. I had a seat, a music stand. I walked into the studio alone, a bottle of water right there, a little bottle of water, a microphone, a music stand, whatever they call it, a vocal script, and also a storyboard, giving you a little bit visually of what's happening with the scene I'm recording. So giving you an idea. I was alone in the booth and pretty much, okay, do number 2 on the vocal script. What'll I do? A little bit higher, Marty. What'll I do? Good. That's what my recording session would look like. Do one line at a time, and that's what happened. So it was humbling, but it also makes sense to me. How can you have everybody in the booth at the same time? Because the magic of the audio, you put it all together, you assemble it later. Anyway.
No, that's great, because that's kind of where I wanted to go into. So you mentioned 25 years. We talked about the other cast members. So let's first talk about the longevity of Courage. 25 years. Why is Courage still so popular today? But the part 2 of that was what, 3 years ago, there is a film that came out, Straight Outta Nowhere, Scooby-Doo meets Courage the Cowardly Dog, where you were reunited with your co-star, who was also on the show with you, Thea White. But I want you to talk about the longevity of that, but then also, after Courage, the relationship that you had with Thea, because I know you guys had a very, very close relationship.
So, the longevity of this thing was something that would never have dreamed of. Would I dream? Actually, I was upset. Now I'm so happy to be at this panel, this first panel of the day, setting a tone for what my day is going to look like. So thank you for being at this panel. First of all, totally off the... Not answering the question yet, but anyway, the idea being that what happened was I knew it was a success because every year they renewed it for 4 years, right? So I knew it was a success. I was the lead character in a cartoon series that was doing well. So it was really nice. And then I was collecting many years worth of residuals from Screen Actors Guild for all of the showing that so many of you guys saw, looking at these faces, most of you grew up on Courage not within the first 4 years. Am I correct? Maybe starting at 2003, 2004, 5, 6, that when you were growing up on it, because it was still alive. So to you, it was still new and fresh. That already gave us some longevity. It never totally disappeared. It always was somewhere. So I was really grateful for that, never knowing in a million years this would be happening. I'd be sitting, somebody would be flying me out to a convention where people line up to see me signing autographs, and no idea that would be happening. At 69 years old also, look at this, man. How many people are 69 years old and a big deal like I am? Anyway, so as to Thea, I lost my really good friend, Thea White, about 4 years ago, right? About 4 years ago. Right before the movie came out. Just before the movie was released. She didn't see a release, but she got to record the movie, which became inadvertently her swan song on Courage and, and the voiceover. So it's the amazing thing, and I loved her so much. She and I had become, and her later years really reconnected, and it became regular talking on the phone a few times a week, and really close, and devastated with her loss. So it's a wonderful thing that I got to know somebody. She was truly an angel. You're an angel, Thea. Everything time I mention your name, I'm hoping, but actually you might just be there. Why did we only look up? They're not allowed to look down. You can't look down. But look, isn't it just around us? Isn't this heaven right now on earth? Us connecting together, people connecting. Right now, all of the problems, your rent overdue, your problems with your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your misery, all of the death that's happening around you, all of that disappears. And I just reminded you of it, I realize that. But nevertheless, this is what's beautiful about life, So this is spiritual right now. I'm really happy to be here. All right, take the microphone.
Let's go. So, and again, you're here at these conventions, and certainly I know some of you guys have some questions and comments that you want to share with Marty, but I want to just say, like you said, this is a wonderful experience. Like you said, you get to connect 25 years ago. You never dreamt that this would be the reality, and here we are. So I see somebody wants to ask a question, so I'm going to come over with the mic, and think about your questions, and let's ask away. Here you go.
Hi, my name is Ara, and my question is, in the later season of... Oh, sorry.
Good to see you. I was just going closer. By the way, you don't have to come... Maybe this is a good idea. Nice. Oh, good. Give the question. Oh, good.
So I have a question. Like for the later season of Courage, how come Courage doesn't talk, but he does like gibberish thing, like how come he does that only and not talk anymore?
Actually, that's fine. Hold that. Thank you. Anyway, the good question. Unpleasant memory for me, because after the first season with the really successful, renewed, all of that, this is a part of big business. They had these focus groups, focus groups, and they watched the reactions to see if anything needs to change. They somehow had it into their heads that Courage's lines, not my interpretation of the lines, but the fact that the lines were happening, they viewed it that it slowed things down. Why did they view that? Because they were thinking, when I was doing this, or all the screaming stuff, right? They love that. That's the last scream I'm doing this weekend, by the way.
That is a lie.
But anyway, so everybody would laugh from that stuff. They were thinking they weren't laughing from, I'll save you, Muriel. What'll I do? What'll I do? They're not laughing about that. But do you have to laugh about everything? No! It gave the character something. So I believe that's cut it back about 90%. And still, once in a while, he would say, Muriel! All of a sudden, he would say Muriel. Sometimes he would count 1, 2, 3, 4. Those are words. Mandating to me. I had no control over it. But you already loved the character when he spoke. You were seeing episodes mixed in. Some of he spoke, some of he didn't speak. You just accepted it. You already loved the character. That's the best I can do. And I think it was a good explanation, actually. Pleasure to meet you.
Cool. Who else has a question for Marty or Courage? Here you go, sir.
Come on. We never did it like this before. You too, man.
First things first, thank you for making my childhood. I'm a fossil, I'm 30, so I remember the night the show came out. It premiered on Cartoon Fridays. I just had a memory.
I love that. I just had it too.
I guess, yeah, this involves like the show. Was there a villain that creeped you out the most?
Oh, really? Without a doubt, for me, was Freaky Fred. Because it's not like, I know a lot of people like King Ramsay's Curse, that character, because it's so chilling, you know. Certainly, for me, one of the most frightening things was Demon in the Mattress, with Muriel is possessed by the devil. All this scary stuff. But for me, Freaky Fred, like that kind of thing, that made it, he's speaking very cold, man. Cold, naughty. All of that thing made it more upsetting. And the shaving, he would shave this. Did anybody remember in the Freaky Fred episode, a little bit louder, please. Anyway, the Freaky Fred episode, there was a moment where the camera went in to this jar sitting on a shelf, and it had some unidentified furry thing in it. And you didn't know what it was exactly. And it gave you a sense that something was really rotten in Denmark with this guy. And I remember that really freaked me out. Even today, thinking about it was upsetting. That jar would almost haunt me in my dreams. So,
thank you.
Pleasure to meet you, man.
Likewise, man.
Question for Marty. Maybe Marty, do you guys have a favorite Marty moment you want to share with the?
No, look, you gotta come up. Really? You gotta come up.
No. I'm very shy.
You didn't know this was gonna happen.
No, I didn't.
And I want you to know I did not even plan this.
This is great. Well, we know each other forever. We were roommates. We were roommates in the city. Marty, first came out of college together and lived together for 3 years. And I watched Marty go on the roller coaster of auditioning and trying to, getting better as an actor. And so for me, this moment when he actually got this part was absolutely incredible. Because I remember, I don't think we were living together, no, but I was just tracking it with him, and he was saying, I don't know, I'm not. We knew our friend's sister was doing the casting for it. So we knew her, and she was saying, well, I'm bringing Marty in to audition for this part. And I was like, well, a million voiceover actors in the city, and I'm an advertising, I use voiceover actors. Anyway, then it was, coming down to you and maybe.
I want to say you're doing a great job right now.
But how many other people were up for it along with you? In other words, how many actors did you actually beat out for this?
She said 300. She said 300 voices,
300 voices. Now you're talking about people who do this all the time for commercials.
Skilled people.
Skilled people,
Not
trained
me.
in it, and then Marty walks in, and just on virtue of the fact that he got this character, you got it inside of you, And then I just watched, obviously, the episodes, and I have a son who grew up with this character, also watching it. So life just came full circle. So congratulations, my friend.
Wonderful, man.
Thank
Pretty
you.
good,
A little
considering.
in-depth into the world of Marty
A round of
Grabstein.
applause. Adam Broadstein, ladies and gentlemen.
All right, we got this gentleman over here. Come on up.
Come on. How are you, man? I know you're here to see the turtle, but you like me also. God bless. There's a lot of turtle people here,
Actually, I met before. It was like at a local mall.
The mall.
It was like
Poughkeepsie.
yeah,
Poughkeepsie.
yeah, like 2018. Yeah.
His event. And you saw me at the same convention. I love that, man. Nice to meet you, man.
It was
Again.
it was like I didn't have money for a picture. You want to go to be at far away, so and you wave, or then you take a picture. That was like.
I
Really
was nice about
Yeah.
that. I'm not as nice now. No, I was very. Come on, take your time. Take your time. Have a seat. You got 15 minutes. It's just a transformative experience. Okay.
But my question is, later in the show when Courage went to the doctor, sent his parents to the moon, right? I'm always wondering, was there ever any talks of him meeting his parents or saving them, or them coming back or anything?
Oh, wasn't that the final episode?
I think it was the final season. At the time.
One of the
Yeah.
final episode, or once upon a
Yeah.
episode. I'll be frank with you. I have no idea. You guys know more about Courage than I do, because I watched maybe 40 of these episodes, maybe 45 of them. The 102 cartoons, a lot of them I missed. So one day, if I'm still alive, I'm gonna watch every cartoon so I can say I did that, right?
Yeah.
Shouldn't I do that? Should I do that? What's your name?
Giovanni.
Giovanni. Nice to meet you, Giovanni. So yeah, I didn't hear anything about that. But maybe put it out in the cosmos. Maybe something would happen. I'll always take Scooby-Doo's help because I need all the help I can get. Scooby is a pretty good, pretty successful, right? 1969. Anyway, pleasure meeting you, my friend. Next,
Anybody else have any other questions for Courage? Or Marty?
come
Or
on.
both. We got some folks that just came in. You're just in time. Ask away. Of course. You have a question?
Don't be polite. Come on. Nice to meet you, man.
Likewise.
What's your name?
My name's Dakota.
Dakota.
Like the state. Before you ask. Thanks, Mom.
I wasn't going to ask, but God bless anyway.
Okay, so, let's see, how to say this. When you were auditioning for the character, how did you come up with how he talks?
It's funny. I actually did not. Thank you for asking, but that's something I didn't speak about too much in my earlier story. You were not here for that when I told you them. But actually, I was thinking, because I am so naturally kind of a neurotic character. Naturally, my friend said I was a neurotic even back then. So I basically said, go with what I might do, not thinking what this pink little dog who is afraid trying to do a character. Instead, just go with myself. So I was going a lot of the times. You heard it even now in this event when I'm trying to come up with the words. All of that is not the stroke. I was talking like that before the stroke. Anyway, because I didn't have this thing was a common thing for me. So the only thing is, how do you do it with a little? I did tell them that. Why that character, that being coming from myself, may engage John Dilworth, make him want me. But I told them earlier, he wanted me to just pitch it higher. So I just did that. I just made it higher. Brainless adjustment. But somehow the combination of being myself and also making it higher would make it not myself, just enough of a mask. The actor would say, wearing a mask, enough of a mask that I was able to engage the truth in myself underneath the mask. The scientific way of explaining it.
Where the persona comes from?
I believe so, sir.
Well, it's funny. It reminds me of probably my favorite line you did as Courage from the very last thing, the Courage Scooby-Doo crossover, that moment. That's me. I'm Courage.
That's me! I'm Courage!
Okay, now I'm good. Thank you. It's been an honor.
Pleasure to see you, man. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Any other questions for Marty? I know some other folks have come in. Otherwise, uh-oh, that's your song cue, Marty.
What happened? What happened?
So, and that was good. So that Dakota just talked about the Courage and Scooby movie, right? So that was about 4 or 5 years ago at this point now that you guys did that?
Well, we recorded it in 2019, and then we did some retakes on it in 2020, actually, amazingly so, despite the pandemic limitation of what actually late in 2020, they were letting me come into the studio with, the beauty of it is that I was alone in the studio anyway, actually. So I didn't even have to wear a mask anyway in the studio because I was alone in a closed, and an amazing thing. So anyway, 2021 it released.
And the reason I asked that, I think that got a pretty good reception. People enjoyed that. People love Scooby, people love Courage. So what about what a perfect team up that was? Let me ask you, again, the longevity of Courage. Courage.
You're going to ask me the same question again?
No. Well, no, I'm not going to ask the same question.
You're going to ask me a different question.
I'm talking the longevity.
The longevity.
You
using big words.
Because big words. Because you know what?
Don't repeat for. I'd say big words. You say big words.
Bigger words.
Bigger.
We could go on all day. So, Courage, Eustace, Muriel are bigger than all of you guys at this point.
Exactly.
They're going to live forever. the legacy that you and everybody else created from John Dilworth's art. Where would you like to see Courage going forward, now and in the future?
What? That's a really open-ended question, isn't it?
Like, I mean, would you like to see baby Courage? Would you
don't-
like to
don't-
see
don't
Courage as a
feed
bellhop?
me. Don't feed me. Give me some credit for being able to interpret your question, man. Anyway, I know this guy a long time.
I wanted to get the bellhop in there.
He wanted to be the. I can't even describe it. He wanted a new thing of courage in the big city, somehow getting a job as a bellhop. And so,
At a haunted hotel, wouldn't that be great?
how did the Courage get a job? He's owned by Eustace and Muriel. How did the dog get a job?
They inherited the hotel.
All right, there's enough of that. Don't mention the word bellhop to me ever again. Anyway, but I actually, moving forward, because they tried to do it a couple of times. They tried to, once they reinvented the idea, maybe they're going to do it with CGI. It didn't work. Some of you maybe saw it on YouTube, the fog of courage. It just doesn't work. Three-dimensional. He loses some of the magic of it, right? Number one. And then recently, maybe 5 years ago, they actually were working on maybe a prequel to Courage. Before Courage, they called it, with a terrible name. Because before Courage, then you can have courage. Anyway, but the idea with Courage is a baby almost, like a little kid. I thought Courage was already pretty young type of, so he wanted me to pitch it even higher. At a certain point, I'm 20 years older. He wanted it to be 20 years younger. Very strange. Anyway, I was able to record over an animatic, and animatic essentially many things. In this case, 540 sketches in rapid succession, animated, still photos, but the dialogue going on underneath it. It didn't work because you wanted Eustace and Muriel, you wanted courage. Just bring back courage, right? Let's bring it back.
Everybody needs a little courage.
Everybody needs a little courage. So anyway, what I would like to see, working up to bringing back courage, assuming I'm still alive when they do this, courage meets a few different people. I had narrowed it down to two. Bugs Bunny, my favorite, but actually, I think the best combination, the best kind of crossover would be Courage meets Huckleberry Hound. Because think of the contrast in the two, characters. Courage, Huckleberry, oh my darling, my darling Clementine. So the two, the contrast made me make it very funny.
You never know, Marty, who could be watching this from Warner Brothers. You mentioned
Warner Brothers?
Warner Brothers.
All right.
Warner Brothers, Cartoon Network. You just gave me a crazy thought. Imagine if Muriel and Eustace got a new pet. Right? That befriended Courage, and Courage happened to get this cute little critter wet, and that would break loose then. Wouldn't that be a good crossover?
You can say hell.
Hell, okay.
Yeah.
But imagine if Eustace and Muriel got a Mogwai. And
those
Gizmo, the Gremlins. Wouldn't that be a good crossover?
That
Warner
would
Brothers.
be perfect. That's
Better than the bellhop.
better than the bellhop. All right.
Anyways, Marty, you know what? We're just about there. So we have to thank everybody who came out here today to Undiscovered Realm to see Marty.
Thank you.
And Marty is downstairs with all the other great guests that are here. So you've got everything. You've got the Scooby movie, so buy the Scooby movie, right?
Whatever. But come by, don't buy, come and
Say
say
hi.
hello, whatever it is you want to do, come by, you know. I'll see you then. I'm going to go to work now. I haven't done any work yet. Except for this. It didn't feel like work to me. It's
fun.
Thank you so much, everybody. God
Thank you.
bless.
Oh, that's right. Okay, thank you again to Marty Grabstein for Courage the Cowardly Dog panel.
Also, I want to thank the people from Undiscovered Realm
There you go.
for running this panel really wonderfully. All right. Cool.
Hello, this is Carlos Alazraki from
Rocco's Modern Life.
and you're watching Fandom Spotlight. Be sure to like and share.
And have fun and follow your fandom.